I can never date a Trump supporter. I can never date someone voting for Kamala Harris. I swear this conversation in the dating space is had every election year. I think it's crazy how some of the most non-political people end up being the individuals with the strongest political stances and they refuse to date anybody just during election season who goes against their political stance, and then after elections are over, they don't care about politics.
There is no way this man is trying to take me on a date so that he can explain to me why he's voting for Trump. This is a black man, by the way. You've already lost me. Silk press is here, and there is no need to fear. I'm voting for Kamala.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
So recently I'm seeing a lot of videos like that. I'm seeing them from both sides too, man. I'm seeing men who are posting about dating women who are liberal and they're conservative, or women who are conservative and they're refusing to date liberal men. People are allowed to date who they want. My thing is this, on a personal level, outside of like social dynamics within relationships, when it comes to deciding what type of roles we're going to assume, right? Gender roles. That's something that I agree with. I take a more traditional approach. Most men who tune into the coffee pod also take that approach. But when it comes to issues of like climate change, I don't give an F if I differ on that particular topic. I don't care if we don't align on a lot of other issues outside of just that. This chick decided to end her date because they didn't see eye to eye politically when it came to climate change.
Don't like think we're compatible.
The thing that you're saying that we're not compatible on, and like it's a deal breaker for you, you're disregarding what I'm saying to you is I'm willing to meet you in the middle, but we just have to have that talk about it. Like, right?
Politically, I'm not willing to meet anybody in the middle.
That's okay. We never have to talk about
around social concepts. Like, we cannot meet in the middle. I am where I am, and we're either arriving at that same spot, and we can talk about the nuances and the details of it, right? Because there's nuances to all of these conversations, but what I'm not willing to do is educate you on why climate change is a real concept, number one, right? When you said that, that was like a big red flag.
I get that. I was being a joke. It was a joke. Of course, climate change is real. I know that.
You said it was a hoax. You literally said it was a hoax.
Obviously, it's not a hoax. I was joking when I said that.
You said the government was coming up, making it up.
You see, this is what I mean. Like, do you really care about climate change that much to cut a date off? Maybe she does. But what I see is like, if I go check out this chick's TikTok, I don't see a bunch of posts about her speaking out about issues with climate. And guys, don't get me wrong. I understand people have strong opinions when it comes to climate change. But when you're dating, you're not going to find somebody who agrees with you 100%. She says, I'm not even willing to come to the middle. It sounds like on any topic. I think a lot of these chicks are just so hyped by their sisterhood and groupthink that they start making life-altering decisions, and you might miss out on a good man.
Kids, we used to have snow days, like snow up to our door. You couldn't even get out your front door.
Right.
Last winter, that's not a Michigan winter. Like
right.
So yeah, it's global warming. Like, I know it's a real thing. I was just being funny with you, like on that topic, on that particular topic, the climate change. I was being funny. Clearly, you didn't think it was funny. It was a joke. It was a joke.
You said that the government can control the weather.
I know what I said. No, there's no way they do that. I know that. I know it was a joke. You don't get my sense of humor. You don't get it.
Human being.
So he said the government can control the weather. Everybody has a conspiracy. I'm not a huge conspiracist. I've never spoken about conspiracy here on this channel, but everybody has some conspiracies. One of these conspiracies has to be true, right?
Be a good human being.
I'm not a
Because you're saying those people when you're referring to trans people.
So
that's not being
a terrible person.
It makes you not being
because of my experience, what I've been through. That makes me a terrible person, and I'm trying to.
I never said terrible person. I said you're not being a good human being. Because you have one experience, and now you're painting a whole picture of a whole community, an oppressed community, an already oppressed community of people. You want to further that you want to take it as far as you possibly can because of your experience.
I'm not spreading anything. I'm like, I never told my daughter don't trust the trend. I don't use the word spread. I'm not spreading anything. This is how I feel.
You said the reason why you don't want your child to be in public schools is because they're teaching about pronouns. Please.
Yeah,
Pronouns is a concept, just like an adverb and a verb.
Yeah.
Why does that bother people so much? That you are not compatible.
That's fine. Okay. You're right. We're not compatible in that aspect. I get that.
Which is a huge aspect for me.
That's okay.
So.
Okay. But I still feel like you're not truly listening to me, though. Like, you're not trying to hear me out. You're so stuck on what you're rooting in, which is okay by any means. Which is okay. You're a single mother.
What does me being a single mother have anything to do with this?
Because
he said, "If she's okay, you're a single mother." That's when he had it. That's when he went in on her.
you're teaching your values and what you believe in to your kids, so you have to stand on it. You have to believe it. You have to walk by it.
Even if I didn't have kids, I would stand on the shit that I believe in because it's just right from wrong. Period. And you know you're dead wrong in a lot of ways. You need to at some point get there because you're in your 30s now. Like, you're dead wrong, especially as a black man. Like, you know you're dead wrong.
I don't think my race have to do with.
Okay, so she's a single mom. Kind of has a point there. It sounds like he said he had a problem with public school systems because they teach kids about, the topics within the trans community that most parents aren't comfortable with. Sex at a young, early age. I agree with that. I think there's a lot of weird shit that they teach within public schools to those kids. But guys, listen, this is not about me. What I'm trying to point out here is we live in a society where people need their potential significant other, husband. A woman needs the man who might be her future man, to think exactly how she thinks. Men don't think like women. And if you think men and women are completely the same and it's all just a social construct, then I can understand how you can be that delusional when it comes to the topic of how to raise up kids. You need coffee. Yes, men will view that situation probably a lot different than a single mother in this situation would. And if you're dating, the person who you're dating may not align with you politically on every level. A man is more protective when it comes to certain issues. She came at him for being a black man. Here's what I've seen when it comes to most black men. Whether they identify with being a Democrat or a Republican, chances are most black men lean conservative when it comes to their views within family structure, dating dynamics, and marriage. When it comes to relationships, a lot of black men lean conservative. And apparently men are lying about where they stand politically just to get the cheeks. For example, this chick commented, "My ex lied about his political beliefs to me for 4 months before I started to see it all."
The comment section of my last video made me feel both like sisterhood and also terrified. Basically, the video is about how men are pretending to be Democrats to get dates. And it had me thinking about questions you could ask to discern if we're being bamboozled, which in general is so sad that we need to do this at all. But men will men. Obviously, we can't ask
these chicks are always getting bamboozled.
who'd you vote for in the last election, or where were you on January 6th? So I have a few ideas, but if you guys have better ones, let me know. First up, I'd say bring up anything about COVID. Oh, my friend just got COVID. Her office won't let her go in. So crazy, people are still getting it. Obviously, nobody liked COVID, but if they have a visceral reaction to it, red flag. The next one is a question that I ask on first dates anyway. What is a hot take you have? My hot take is that Will Ferrell isn't funny, but I feel like if you are a super conservative, you might not realize a hot take you have is actually a hot take. This one's hit or miss, but you...
Will Ferrell? This chick is nuts. I know there's no coffee in that cup. Has to be tea.
No,
Has to
I'll
be
have a
tea.
tea, actually.
ask them their favorite podcasts. Learning a few men in my life's
The coffee pod. My bad, guys. I keep pausing it too much. My bad. No more.
favorite podcast has made me really rethink their beliefs. And last one, this one's a little bit more on the nose, but it is an election year. So if your date coincides with maybe last night was the Republican presidential debate, you could say oh, did you watch? Who did you think was the best? And maybe he's oh yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy had some really good points. Do tell. Obviously, it's absurdity that we have to do this at all. These are what I could think of off the top of my head, but if you guys have more, leave them in the comments below.
Why do I find this so funny? I'm thinking if he's a liar, if he's willing to lie just to get the cheeks, what do you think was stopping him from just being yeah, Kamala Harris 2024? You know what I mean? If he's trying to get laid and is willing to lie, then he's gonna lie. I'm not supporting it. The other question you might have is, how are the swirlers coping with everything this election season?
The worst part about having a type is the fact that I want a white country boy
but all the white country boys, well, like 99% of them are racist and Christian, and all of the like liberals, which
99%. 99% of cowboys are racist.
I would prefer, are like not that attractive. Literally without fail, every single time I'm like, damn, he's fine. I scroll down and it's like Christian conservative. Or like I'll be looking down because I'm like, well, let me make sure this person is liberal before I even think about swiping right. And I look at the picture and it's like, it's less than favorable. I'll say that. Like, why is it so hard to find a fine country boy who wears a gold chain, got leg tattoos, and cares about women's rights, Black people, and gay people? I'm doomed, I swear to God.
Women's rights. Again, I want to be very clear here. I'm not saying you should date or marry somebody who has vastly different political views than you. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to get 2 points across here. One, I believe as long as you and your potential significant other agree on the most core foundational values about how you're going to handle yourself within that relationship, then topics like climate change shouldn't make or break your relationship, in my opinion. Because if you ask a lot of these chicks who are out here being like, oh no, you believe in men being the head of the household. Because listen, I bet you a lot of these chicks who are really gung-ho on making sure that they vote somebody who agrees with their political view very strongly, it's only for election season. Based on the dudes that most of these chicks entertain, when summer rolls around, the men who they're allowing to party with get them pregnant, I think your decisions in life say more about you than anything else. Number two, my second point, I think a lot of people pretend to care about political issues during election season. And after it's all said and done, let's be honest, when's the last time you went on a date and a chick asked you your opinion on climate change?
When it comes to dating, I do not believe in political intermarriage. This is just a values thing. Since 2012, when I was in college, I've been asking guys who they vote for before going on a first date with them. It's actually been an amazing knockout question. I'm a busy girl. I'm not wasting my time. It was actually 2012 on election night when the guy I was seeing at the time first saw me cry. I obviously have liberal friends. It was a liberal friend who actually gifted me this shirt. But they probably did it more as a warning to others than a gift to me. I mean, when given a choice between Romney and Obama, Romney at the time being a palatable moderate Republican, against a second-term Obama, as a first-term were forgivable, then you could simply never be the father of my children.
A liberal friend. Anybody who's identifying their friends with political labels like a liberal friend definitely takes politics extremely seriously. And also, this is the first time I've heard of political intermarriage. What the F is that? I didn't even know that term existed until I heard this video. It's probably the type of chick who's not just trying to fit in during election season. That's definitely the type of chick who's not trying to fit in the dating market during election season.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
You definitely are. Do you guys remember this chick? She was going viral a while back. She couldn't find a man who identified politically the same way she did, who she also found attractive. And that's when you really want to sit down and reevaluate your values and ask yourself, have I been brainwashed here? Because this is how this is what my mind tells me is right versus this is what the media has been consuming and trying to tell me is right. And again, I believe there are plenty of relationships, couples, and marriages where they don't see eye to eye in every political discussion, and they're still able to make things work.
Would you date someone that has a different political view than yours?
Yeah, my boyfriend has different political views.
Yeah? What are you? Like, are you a Democrat or Republican?
My political views aren't really that strong, but leftist in general.
Leftist? Okay. And like he's more of a rightist, you would say? And how's the relationship like? Is it working?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. So like would encourage people to not base their dating life or like who they like on politics?
It depends because sometimes your political views also align with your morals. So if your morals don't align with that person's morals, then that probably wouldn't work. But if it's about different things other than morals, then I'd say it doesn't really affect the relationship that much.
Conservative men are literally like, my politics are like stopping me from getting laid because when women find out that I just don't think they should have like rights and I just perceive them as like walking baby machines or sex objects, then they don't like me anymore and they don't want to have sex with me. So like, can we just talk about something else? No, we're going to talk about this and you're going to have to explain yourself.
All right. What do you guys think? I thought this was a pretty interesting topic just because, again, the amount of videos I will see of chicks, sometimes I'll see men, but a lot of them are women. A lot of them are women who will complain and all of a sudden they're talking about having political discussions while they're on a date and say, oh, and I couldn't believe it. He said he was conservative. And I even see the conservative women, and occasionally the men too, talk about running into liberal men and how they immediately cut the date off. I get it. Again, I completely understand if there are core values where the two of you may not align. But in most cases, man, it's all for show. It's just because everybody's talking about it. Like, let's be honest. When's the next time that chick who was there recording the conversation from the bottom, she knew what she was doing? When's the last time you think she was online talking about climate change? I think she released a second video too that I should have added that. Hold on 1 second. I think I can actually find this. You see? Comment down below if you made it to the very end of the video and you saw this part 2 sneak peek. Here it is. Here, I'm going to play it for you guys. So she was responding back to a comment on that first video that we played with this person who says when he realized pie cabinet is locked, he changed his story. Oh, she's talking about him switching up his approach when he realized that she wasn't going to let him hit. Let's listen to what she had to say.
Thanks y'all for the love because it wasn't an easy thing to do because I don't typically do that. I don't typically spend my time talking to men, period, about shit that they can Google for themselves. So I deleted Hinge. I've moved on from that whole situation.
So listen, it's not something that she typically does, but she did it for the TikTok.
That was a moment in time. Y'all got to see just like, what was it, like a minute and a half, I think, of like that conversation. It was just terrible all around. I don't even know how long it was. But the only reason I recorded it, I know some of y'all in the comments like, why would you record the date? The only reason I recorded that was because I needed to show my sister because I had told her throughout the date, like some of the things that he was saying, and she's kind of like, And so I was like, I'm going to record this for her so I can send it to her. And then I called her as soon as I...
Stop it. You recorded it for TikTok.
I left that man right on that bench that he was sitting while he was yapping. I left, I got up, I called my sister and I was like, you will not believe what the this man was saying. Typically what I don't do is stay in a conversation that is not serving me, that is toxic, that is just irritating, or just like where I have to educate somebody. I don't do that type of stuff. Seeing in the comments that y'all thought that we went on a walking date as the first date. No, we had just come from brunch at one of my favorite brunch spots. Brunch was good, whatever. But it was also like a DJ in there. So it was hard to like have a real conversation one-on-one because the music was like literally right behind me. So we were like, all right, let's go by the river walk and like have a little chit chat. Okay. Immediate red flag. Okay, on the play, right? That I was just like, I had no words. Okay, even before this recorded conversation, we're in the Uber, heading to the Riverwalk, right? Our driver was listening to like some Spanish music in the background. I speak Spanish fluently, so I started asking her, I said, oh, where are you from? She said, I'm from the Dominican Republic. I was like, okay, cool. So we started speaking to each other in Spanish. We get out of the car, he was like, oh, I think that was really sexy that you were speaking to her in Spanish, but I just don't like when people speak another language in front of me. What? What? Yeah, he feels like he just hasn't had somebody in his life to help him through, like, figure out like what he believes in, what his values are. So he just kind of has this like stuck, on what people at his job share with him. And he's like, never voted a day in my life. He really wants somebody in his life that can help him, especially like a Black woman. And I said,
He's probably one of those lying. Probably one of those men lying to get the cheeks.
you want free labor, honey. Literally remember a moment where I said to him, I said, you want free labor? And I'm a consultant. I have my own small business consulting company. I don't provide advice for free, especially to a man. We don't do that around here. Okay, it's not what we do. It's not what we do. He told me that he was supposed to be in the NFL because he was going to Notre Dame and he really wanted to play football. However, he found that college was harder than he thought it was, so he only did 2 years, and then he ended up going to skilled trades. Okay, no discrimination towards people that are in the skilled trades. They are essential. They are absolutely essential. Okay, I'm calling a plumber every 3 seconds of my life over here. All right, so no shade over there at all. However,
Let's just know how her business is going. Yo.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
I think it started to become clear to me that probably because of our career choices and our education and the amount of resourcing we've done for ourselves as individuals, we were never going to be aligned, not even just politically, but I really was just trying to keep an open mind about, what his career choice was, his education. But I think, because I have dated all across the spectrum. And I guess I realized that, that area over there has nothing to do with me. People are going to remain on Hinge. Probably do not swipe on the people that also don't put it visible on their profile at all. It probably means some bullshit is happening in the background. And I think that's what happens to me. Okay. Now, I did give this man the benefit of the doubt. Who does that? Who gives a man the benefit of the doubt? Who does that?
A woman who has a child out of wedlock and doesn't think she needs a husband to help raise him up.
Not me. But I was like, I wasn't trying to seem like, y'all know what I'm trying to say. After I left the date, I got up and I went across the river walk by myself. I was just talking on the phone with my sister, just telling her about what happened, doing my little ranting, And I came across this place called The Barge and they had drinks. So I got myself a drink. I made a friend by the river walk. Her name was Sierra. Shout out to you, Sierra, because I'm so glad that happened the way that it did, because it was like date went horribly.
All right. We're done. Listen, as always, I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the car. Hold on. Share down below, man. Do you guys have friends? Have you seen situations of people who you're like, you're not this much into politics? Right now you are, but not really. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.